Hi everybody, thank you so much for coming to my channel today. My name is Janet Bayramian. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and today's topic, I'm going to talk about how to survive the holidays. One of the things though, before we get to the topic, is I'd love it if you guys could like and subscribe to my channel. Feel free to share also on social media if you feel like this information is helpful and maybe some of your friends could benefit from it. So feel free to do that. On social media, on Instagram, I'm at Therapy with Janet B. Feel free to follow. I did also just start a podcast. You can follow me on Apple Podcasts as well as Google and Spotify. You can subscribe, listen. We have 3 episodes so far. It's called Couch Time Podcast. My co-host is another fellow therapist. She's amazing, Susie Halajian. Enough about that. I'm going to go into now how to survive the holidays. Tomorrow, actually, I'm filming this essentially the day before Mother's Day, and I know the holidays, in particular Mother's Day, can be quite a complicated holiday for a lot of people. Now, don't get me wrong, some people absolutely love the holidays. Some people love Mother's Day. They have an amazing relationship with their parents, their mothers. Maybe they are mothers themselves and have a great relationship with their families. So it's a wonderful day, and I'm not trying to take that away from everyone. So if you're that person, great. Please enjoy your Mother's Day and enjoy all of the other holidays that you enjoy. But what this video really, I want to talk about is just the fact that for a lot of people, the holidays are quite complicated because many of us, we come from complicated families. Particularly if we are talking about Mother's Day, there may be mothers who have lost their children, and it's actually quite a sad day to be reminded of that. There are mothers that, have tried to have children, and it's just for whatever reason, it didn't work out. There are also mothers that have maybe complicated relationships with their kids or even no relationship with their kids. And that's a very, very complicated thing. Some people are non-traditional parents, some people adopt or foster, and that's wonderful, but it can also have a few complications as well. So what I want to say first, in order to survive the holidays, if the day is a little bit sad or confusing or weird, acknowledge that. It's important to acknowledge just the fact that it's a weird day for so many of us. And I know in the media and, mainstream teaches us that the holidays are amazing and we're supposed to have such a wonderful time and have a wonderful Mother's Day. And that's just not true for everyone. So I would encourage, don't buy into that if that's not true for you. So first things first, definitely acknowledge what your experience is of that day. Don't force yourself to have an amazing day. Don't force yourself to sort of be bought into what media tells us the holidays are supposed to be, and just let yourself feel your feelings. That is absolutely step one. The second piece that I would recommend is, if the holidays are a complicated day for you, stay off social media. I know for me personally, especially on my personal social media account, I follow, people from college, people from my graduate school program, friends from childhood, other family members, and yeah, they absolutely share a lot about their holiday experiences. And if that day is complicated for me, like if, for example, the Christmas holiday is a sad day for me, I don't want to see my high school friend, doing something so fun and amazing. While I could be so happy for them, at the same time, it's sad and hurtful for me to see other people having such an enjoyable day and I'm having such a hard day. That's why I would absolutely recommend to stay off social media if that's what's going to help you, if that helps you sort of survive the day. Staying off social media is also really important because oftentimes what happens is that we tend to compare our lives to other people. And sometimes I think we actually do it without even thinking about it. Like, it just naturally happens, and I can even give an example today. I created today as more like a work day for myself, a weekend work day. And I just popped on Instagram to see what other people were doing. And I'm in South Florida and the weather is beautiful and a lot of people were at the beach today. And I was like, oh, I wish I had gone to the beach. That would have been so nice today. But realized, like, had I not gone on social media and looked at what other people were doing, that thought wouldn't have popped up and I would have been absolutely satisfied with the things that I was doing that day to help myself and help my work. So absolutely stay off social media if possible in order to let go of comparisons and to just survive the day, essentially. The third piece that I would absolutely recommend is, if that particular holiday is hard for you, do something that's nourishing for yourself. So if that means, in my previous example, going to the beach and having a lovely beach day, do that. If that means going to the spa and just unplugging, getting a massage, getting a facial, and enjoying yourself, absolutely do that. If it means engaging in a favorite hobby like painting or hiking or something like that, do it. Do what nourishes you for that day and just focus on yourself. Focus on how you feel and focus on what can help you feel better in that day. So I don't necessarily recommend to sort of like, lie around the house, be in bed, because, we want to change our nervous system. We want to change our body chemistry. We don't want to necessarily fall into like a lower depressed state. It's nothing wrong with feeling sadness or feeling like the day is not easy for you, but when we sort of stay stuck in those feelings, that doesn't necessarily help us. So we don't want to stay in that. We want to support ourselves in having the best day possible. So do whatever it is that helps you feel nourished for that day. The next piece that I would also recommend is, if it's important to you to be connected, if it's important to you to have a support system, please do that for yourself as well. So if spending the day on your own is not nourishing, please plan something else. Plan another day with a group of friends. Plan a day where you can connect with other people, maybe other family members. If we're using the example of Mother's Day, for example, maybe you could spend the day with other mothers that have complicated relationships with their kids, or other individuals that have lost their mothers too soon. That can be incredibly nourishing and supportive as well, to be connected to a supportive community. So I would also recommend that. And that just goes in line with, my final piece of advice here. And focus on yourself. That's the thing that I think people get confused. They think that, like, if we focus on ourselves, that makes us selfish. And that's not necessarily true. At the end of the day, we lay our heads on our pillows by ourselves at night. We have to be with our own thoughts. We're with ourselves on a daily basis. So if we're not doing well, how can we have healthy relationships in life? So one of the things that I do recommend is to focus on yourself on that day. Focus on what's nourishing for you and what's absolutely supportive. Going back to my example, Christmas had been a complicated holiday for me in the past. So I remember in years past, I would spend, the day with my best friend and her family for the Christmas holidays, and just being in a environment around community, feeling like I wasn't alone, feeling like I had support and loving people around me was imperative for me to get through that holiday. So I definitely recommend that, like I said, have that community around you so that you can be supported and you don't have to go through the day alone. Sometimes our minds tell us that we have to go through it alone. Sometimes our mind says, oh, I don't want to be a burden to anybody else, but that's not true. People in your life love you. People in your life want to be supportive. So please don't be afraid to ask for help, and please don't be afraid to ask to be, around your loving community that you appreciate. So that's my little tidbit, that's my little feedback for today on how to survive difficult holidays. And if, again, you guys find this video helpful, please like and subscribe. If there are topics that are important to you, please comment below on what topics you're looking for related to mental health and wellness. And finally, if the holidays are difficult for you, or if, for example, with Mother's Day, you're grieving a loss or you're dealing with a complicated family dynamic and you want to work through it in therapy, I do work with California and Florida residents. You can visit me on my website at www.roadtowellness.co. You can schedule a free telephone consultation. I'd be happy to speak with you and see if we would be a good fit. Thank you guys again for coming today to my video, and I appreciate it. I'll see you next time.